Picture this: a bone-chilling night in Toledo, Ohio, the kind of cold that creeps into your bones and doesn't let go. And there's Sarah Mitchell, curled up in the shadows of a crumbling warehouse, just trying to survive. Once, she was a Marine Corps sergeant, a name that meant something, a woman who led her squad through hell in Iraq. But now, she's just another face the city wants to forget, wrapped in a tattered jacket, ignored by folks rushing past with their eyes glued to the ground. Sarah's story, man, it's a gut punch, a raw, messy tale of a hero turned invisible, and what happened next in a fluorescent-lit courtroom. That's gonna hit you hard. See, Sarah wasn't always like this. She used to wear her uniform like armor, proud, unbreakable, saving lives under gunfire, earning a silver star for dragging a wounded buddy to safety. But war leaves scars, not just the shrapnel in her knee that still screams when it rains, but the kind you can't see. Back home, the VA was a maze of endless wait lists. Her disability checks barely covered a burger, and every job interview ended with that fake smile. "We'll call you." Eviction came fast. Her landlord didn't care about her medals, just the late rent. Shelters were packed, so she found a spot in that warehouse, a roof, for walls, nothing fancy, just enough to keep her alive. Until that night, when a flashlight beam cut through the dark. "Lady, you gotta move," a cop barked, boots crunching glass. Sarah barely stirred. She was too damn tired, too broken to play the game. "You're trespassing," the younger cop snapped, all twitchy, hand on his holster like she was some threat. The older one sighed, like he'd seen this movie before. "Got any weapons?" he asked. "Just trying to sleep," she mumbled. For a split second, she thought the old guy might cut her a break, see the soldier she used to be, but then the young one yanked her arm hard. "Move it." Her instincts kicked in, a flinch from years of training, and that was all he needed. Next thing she knew, her face was kissing pavement, cuffs biting her wrists. "You're under arrest," he spat, and just like that, Sarah Mitchell, war hero, was a criminal. The cruiser ride was a blur, neon lights flashing past, cuffs digging in, her pride screaming louder than her empty stomach. At the station, it was cold, mechanical, fingerprints, mugshot, an orange jumpsuit that felt like a betrayal of every uniform she'd ever worn. In the holding cell, she lay on a stiff cot, staring at cracks in the ceiling, memories clawing at her. Desert heat, the roar of choppers, the explosion that changed everything. Morning came, and her public defender, a guy who looked like he hadn't slept since the Bush administration, barely glanced at her file. "Trespassing, misdemeanor," he droned. "Plead guilty, maybe get time served." Sarah just stared. "I got nowhere to go," she said, voice flat. He sighed, scribbled something, and left her to rot until court. Now here's where it gets wild. The courtroom was small, stuffy, a few bored folks in the gallery, a reporter doodling in the back. Judge Henry Caldwell, gray-haired, glasses slipping down his nose, looked like he'd rather be golfing. The prosecutor, a sharp-dressed woman named Ms. Harper, stood up, all business. "Your Honor, Ms. Mitchell was caught squatting in a condemned property after complaints from the neighborhood HOA folks worried about property values." Sarah almost laughed. Property values? She was just trying not to freeze. The judge barely looked up. "Ms. Mitchell, anything to say?" Sarah swallowed, her voice steady but raw. "I'm not a criminal, Your Honor. I just needed a place to sleep." Harper scoffed. "Everyone's got choices, Ms. Mitchell." Sarah's eyes burned. "Do they?" The room went quiet, and for the first time, Judge Caldwell really looked at her, like he saw past the jumpsuit. He flipped through her file, his face shifting. "Ms. Harper," he said, voice like gravel, "read this out loud." The prosecutor hesitated, then started. "Sarah Mitchell, former Marine sergeant, 2 tours in Iraq, Silver Star for valor." The reporter's pen went wild, heads turned, and Sarah's chest tightened. The judge leaned forward. "Ms. Mitchell, you know who I am." She shook her head, confused. He took off his glasses. "My daughter served in Iraq. She came home broken, talked about a Sergeant Mitchell who pulled her out of a burning Humvee. Said you were the toughest Marine she ever met, taught her how to keep going." Sarah's mind raced, faces from years ago blurring together. The judge's voice cracked. "She didn't make it home, but she never forgot you." The air was electric. Caldwell turned to Harper, eyes blazing. "If my daughter was standing here, Would you be pushing for jail time? Would you? Harper froze. No answer. The judge didn't wait, grabbed Sarah's file and ripped it in half, papers fluttering like confetti. Case dismissed, he barked. And MS. Mitchell, I'm calling the Toledo Veterans Office and the county housing folks by tonight. You'll have a place to stay, a caseworker, a shot to get back on your feet. Sarah's legs wobbled, her voice barely a whisper. Is this real? The judge nodded, softer now. It's the least we owe you. The cuffs came off, and for the first time in years, Sarah felt something like hope. Outside, the Toledo sun was too bright, the world too loud. Reporters swarmed MS. Mitchell, how's it feel to be free? She paused, glancing at a homeless vet across the street, hunched over, invisible. I don't know yet, she said, honest. A woman with a clipboard approached, calm but firm. MS. Mitchell, I'm with the County Veterans Program. We've got a place for you. Sarah nodded, stepping toward the car, but that image of the other vet burned in her mind. She was getting a second chance, but how many others were still waiting? Look, Sarah's story isn't just hers. Thousands of vets come home to a country that turns its back, leaving them to fight battles on our streets with no backup. One judge saw her, really saw her, but no one should have to bank on luck to survive. So what do? Support veteran programs, donate, or hell, just talk to someone who's struggling. It could change everything. What do you think? Should a hero like Sarah end up in cuffs just for trying to live? Drop a comment, share your take, and let's get loud for those who've been forgotten. Hit that like button, share this story, and let's make sure no vet gets left behind.